अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी राग ते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So today we'll be starting with lesson 2, errors concerning the 7 fundamentals. Himali, I'll make you a host.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I made you a host. You can share the. So error concerning 7 fundamentals. So you must be wondering that we had also learned this chapter in Vitrag Vigyan part 2, chapter 3. That was based on Chadala. That was taken from adapted from Chadala. And this one is adapted from Moksh Marg Prakashak. So we had also studied in Vitrag Vigyan 2 only, no, Vitrag Vigyan 2 only. Grahit and Agrahit Mithyat, inborn delusion and uh, newly acquired delusion. Okay, inborn delusion and newly acquired. Okay, so acquired delusion, which is something that we have acquired in this birth, and inborn delusion is the delusion that is coming from the past. Okay, so errors regarding 7 fundamentals basically is included in inborn delusion, because this error is going on since time immortal. If we can remove this error, we can get right belief, samyak darshan. Okay, so this is inborn delusion. But in case of acquired delusion also, there could be errors. And this chapter particularly deals with that. So in Mokshmarg Prakashak Ji Granth, Pandit Todarmal Ji has included this subject, errors concerning the 7 fundamentals, at 2 places. In the 4th chapter, it is about inborn delusion. And in the 7th chapter, which is this one, from which this is adapted, this is related to acquired delusion. So you will see the difference between the 2 kinds of errors, that this is more related to those person who are already uh, Jain, who has got the true God, true scriptures and true monks. Okay, they are in touch with them and still their delusion persists. It doesn't go away. And what is the reason for that? So that has been very nicely explained in the 7th chapter of Moksha Marg Prakashak. And this errors also deals with those kind of mistakes. So this is very, very subtle, you know. So you have to be very attentive to understand this. One minute. Huh? Yeah, sorry, huh? I was just looking for my earphone, but I didn't get, so I had to use somebody's. It's raining here, so I think you will not get the correct kind of voice. Okay, so these errors are subtle. It is not very micro, not very macro level of errors. So you have to understand it very nicely. So we begin the chapter. We have already learned about the introduction of Pandit Todarmal ji uh, at two places. In Vitrag Vigyan 2, part 4, 4 expositions, and Vitrag Vigyan 3, chapter 8, real and conventional point of view. Okay. So I'm not getting into that introduction. You can read it at your as a homework. We begin with the chapter straight away. Next page. Yes. 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 So these are errors concerning the 7 fundamentals. You can enlarge a bit. Yes, thank you. So you see the introduction. As long as people or being do not have the internal understanding. Now, what is this internal understanding? Our belief system. Okay. Our belief system is internal understanding. It is called abhipray in Hindi. Okay. So as long as people or being do not have the internal understanding of the 7 fundamentals. Okay. So what are these 7 fundamentals? Soul, non-soul, influx, bondage, stoppage of influx, dissociation of bondage, and liberation. Okay. Jeev, ajeev, asrav, ban, samvar, nijra, moksha. Okay. So internal understanding of the 7 fundamentals is very important because that leads to right belief. Okay. So this is very important. So what we are going to learn today and understand is that what we have in our belief system. If there are errors in our belief system, we will not be able to manifest right belief. Okay. And unless and until the right belief, you acquire the right belief, the path of liberation does not begin. So this is very important chapter from the point of view of path of liberation, because if you have errors in the 7 fundamentals, errors in the 7 fundamentals means errors in the understanding of 7 fundamentals, then obviously you will not be able to manifest right belief. And manifesting right belief is our primary purpose. Okay. That is where our happiness begins. That is where the delusion goes away. So it's very, very important. In fact, soul has been there since time immortal, and it has been wandering into the transmigration, 4 states of existence. Okay. And in those 4 states also, one species to another species. And there are 84 lakh species in this universe. So just imagine the story of our transmigration. So we have got a very good opportunity in this life. We have born as human, and we have born in a Jain family, and we have got access to true God, true scriptures, and true monks. And above all, you have developed an interest to understand this. Otherwise, who has time for such kind of things? Because now the complexities of life has increased, and it is not easy to engage yourself in something good for your spiritual development. Okay. So it's a very rare kind of association that we have got. And on top of it, even if you have the curiosity to understand these fundamentals and other concepts of Jainism, but you should have a means. And this Parmagam Honors course offers you a perfect matching for your curiosity to understand this knowledge of fundamentals. Okay, so we can just say that it is the rarest of rare things that we have got as our association due to our past good deeds. So this much is on account of our past deed, we have got all these associations. Now, important is that you put in your efforts in this and make it your permanent property. Make it your permanent property means you imbibe this knowledge in your knowledge, okay? Signs of discrimination or discriminative knowledge, Bhed Vigyan, right? So Bhed Vigyan is the ultimate thing which leads to self-realization. The whole universe and all the philosophies of all kinds of religion are after this self-realization, and nobody knows the correct path. And we are fortunate to have this access to this kind of scriptures, which is depicting us the true nature of how to manifest this self-realization. And particularly this topic, the 7 fundamentals, is very, very important because this leads to self-realization. So your syllabus is very short in terms of enjoying happiness in all situations. And that is only 7 fundamentals, correct understanding of 7 fundamentals. So when you want to develop a correct understanding, you should remove the errors, because so far the errors will remain, you will not be able to realize yourself. Okay. We will also discuss how practically we can realize ourselves at the end of this chapter. But let's first understand what are the common errors that we do make. So one chapter already we have studied in Vitrak Vigyan 2, chapter 3, errors regarding 7 fundamentals, and that was primarily dealing with inborn delusion. And these errors are related to acquired. Now, how it is acquired, I will point it out time and again as we advance in this chapter. Okay. So, we were into the introduction. As long as people or beings do not have the internal understanding. So, what we are doing right now is developing or correctly understanding our internal understanding of the 7 fundamentals, including the soul. So 7 fundamentals do include soul. They cannot achieve the goal of right faith. Right faith means right belief, means self-realization, samyak darshan, first step in the path of liberation. Okay. So you see how important is this chapter from the introduction itself, that you cannot achieve the goal of right faith. Okay. And that is what is our purpose. We want to be happy in all situations, and to manifest that, we need to understand the 7 fundamentals correctly. That means removing the errors in the understanding of the 7 fundamentals. Now comes the point, why it is acquired illusion. Even after studying Jain scriptures, see, you have reached here and you have studied Jain scriptures. A person having wrong faith does not have the real understanding of the elements. I would like to modify it. Even after studying Jain scriptures, a person is not able to manifest right faith with the errors remaining in the understanding of the 7 elements. Okay. Now, what are these errors? So, of course, these errors will be related to each of the 7 elements: soul, non-soul, influx, bondage, stoppage of influx, dissociation of bondage, and liberation. Okay. So, these are the 7 fundamentals. So the first one is error regarding soul and non-soul elements. It has been clubbed together by why? Because if you make error in understanding soul, we'll also make error in non-soul. Okay. And if you make errors in understanding non-soul, you will always make error in soul because they both are connected. Because your subject of science of discrimination is to discriminate between soul and non-soul. I am the soul and everything else for me is non-soul. So even true God, true scriptures, true monk are also non-soul elements for me. Even my body is non-soul element for me. Even my thoughts are also non-soul elements for me. Okay. So these are some of the errors that we have to remove. So both are interconnected. That's why the errors regarding soul and non-soul elements is given together. So when you make even among the 7 fundamentals, if you are making error in one of the elements, then it is an error of all the elements. Because correct understanding of the 7 fundamentals leads to right belief. So when you have a right belief, of course, there will not be errors in any of the fundamentals. And if there remains a error in one of the fundamentals, still you will not be able to manifest right belief. So each of the errors are equally important. Okay. It is not that errors regarding soul and non-soul is only important. All others are not important. No, it is not like that. Unless and until you have a clear-cut understanding of the 7 fundamentals, you are not going to manifest right belief and the errors remains. Now we understand what are the errors. Okay. So Jia, you start reading errors regarding soul and non-soul elements. There are 5 points. You just read that 5 points and then I will explain each.
Yeah. First, engaged in the pursuit of the self, the beings understand the division of the moving and non moving creatures and other milestones of the spiritual growth, as also the different manifestations of the matter substances, but does not exactly have the ability of discrimination between the self and the non self and the path leading to full detachment, as described in the spiritual scriptures. Two, even when he knows them, his knowledge is based on the religious texts, but does not have full faith in knowing one's own self and not to mix that with others and to keep one's self unmixed with others. Three, like other people having perverted faith, this one also treats religious teachings fast and other. Uh, like other people having perverted faith, this one also treats religious teachings fast and other activities depending upon the body as one's own. Four, he discusses the elements of soul as described in the religious books, but does not realize that the soul is himself and the body and other outside objects are totally different. He experiences that body and soul are different entities as if he is talking of some third persons. 5. He treats the joint activities of the soul and the body as one and does not follow that matter is just an indifferent cause of the activity of the soul, and the soul, in its turn, is again an indifferent cause of the activity of the matter. He does not realize the inherent difference between the two activities. Um, should I read ahead?
Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah. So we will understand this first and then we will move on to the next element. Okay. This is very important. Among the 7 fundamentals, the errors regarding soul and non-soul elements is the most important. Although all 7 are equally important because if there is an error in one of the elements, you are not going to manifest right belief. Okay. So engaged in the pursuit of the self. Okay. So we are all engaged in the pursuit of the self. We want to have self-realization. Okay. Because until and unless the experience is there, the feeling doesn't come. The feeling of happiness doesn't come. You are always in doubt, in perverse belief, okay, and in indecision, because you have not realized yourself. So engage in the pursuit of the self. The being, the human being, understands the divisions of the moving and non-moving creatures. So these are basically a division of the living being into moving. Moving means mobile. Mobile means thrust paryay. Starting from 2 cents to 5 cents being, all are mobile beings. They can move from one place to another place. Okay. And the other category is non-moving creatures. Those are 1 sense being. Okay. 1 sense being. Okay. So mobile and immobile beings. So we understand this understanding that the soul can have 1 sense also, and the soul can have 2 to 5 cents also. And these are the categories. We all understand this according to the Jain scriptures. But if you are not able to discriminate between the self and the non-self, and if we don't lead to detachment or passionlessness, then it is futile. So he develops this understanding of soul and non-soul in this manner, but not in the manner that will lead to discrimination. Okay. So this is the first thing, that he engage in the pursuit of the sale. The being understands the divisions of the moving and non-moving creatures, and what else? Other milestones of the spiritual growth. Now, these milestones means Marganasthan. That means soul quests, where the souls are found. Okay. So these are 14 Marganasthan or soul quests. And there is another part. They have mixed both together. And because it was written Marganasthan, they thought it to be as milestone. So when a person who is not having a deep Jainism knowledge, he will do this kind of mistakes while translating. Okay. So just correct it. It is not milestone, but it is about soul quests. Everybody note down in their textbook, otherwise you will forget and you will do mistakes in exams. Okay. So these are the some of the corrections that you have to see. Okay. So first he understands the divisions among mobile and immobile beings. The second one, he understands the various types of soul's quest, which are 14 in number. And the third one is stages of spiritual growth. So there are again 14 stages of spiritual growth called Gunasthan. Okay. Right now we are into what stage? First. Okay. First stage is the stage where there is a delusion. Now, the moment you remove this delusion, you are into the fourth stage. Okay. So fourth stage means you are a right believer. Okay. So everybody wants to jump from one to fourth. So you can ask question why you are not going to second stage and third stage, because those are the stages that comes when you fall down from 4. So if you fall down from 4, you may fall down to the third stage, you may fall down to the second stage, or you may fall down to the first stage. So second and third are the stages which comes when you are falling down, not when you are ascending. So now we want to ascend from first stage to the fourth stage. Okay. So, uh, so these are also the divisions of soul. Okay. The spiritual stages and the soul's quest. So there are 14 stages of soul quests, and there are 14 stages of spiritual ladder or spiritual growth. Okay. So this is about the soul. Regarding the non-soul, as also the different manifestation of the matter substance. Okay. So he understands the divisions and subdivisions of soul, and he also understands the different divisions of matter substance. Okay. So he knows the subdivisions, but does not exactly have the ability of discrimination between the self and non-self. Okay. So that is very important. Discrimination between self and non-self. So you have to have the study of all the non-self substance? No. You study the self, rest is all non-self. Okay. You come into the right track, all other tracks are wrong track. So simple. Okay. So he does not have the ability to discriminate between the self and non-self. The second is, and the path leading to full detachment. Okay, vitrakta.
Sir, can you explain again the discrimination between self and non-self?
Yeah. So uh, we are uh, we are now studying the errors regarding soul and non-soul elements. Okay. So there are 7 fundamentals. The first 2 fundamentals are being explained together. Why? Because when you made a mistake regarding soul, you will always make a mistake regarding non-soul. And when you make a mistake regarding non-soul, you will always make a mistake regarding soul. Because these two are the substance elements. Okay. And other 5 are modification elements. So other 5 are just a division of soul and non-soul. Okay. And these 2 are very important. So he understands the divisions and subdivisions of soul. He understands the divisions and subdivisions of matter, but he does not have the ability to discriminate between the self, which is soul, and the non-self, which is non-soul. Okay. So he have this knowledge, right? The soul is of so many kinds, and soul has got 14 soul squares, and soul has 14 stages of spiritual development. All these he understands, but he does not understand how to discriminate between the self and the non-self. So all his bookish knowledge is not coming to fruition, right? Why? Because he is not able to discriminate. The purpose of understanding the divisions and subdivision was to sharpen our discriminative skills. But he understands all the details, but he is not able to, he has not developed the ability to discriminate between the self and the non-self. That is the first part. And the second is the path leading to full detachment. So discrimination between self and non-self is जीव अजीव तत्व में भेद विज्ञान. Okay. So this is भेद विज्ञान, and path leading to full detachment is vitragta. So भेद विज्ञान also leads to self-realization, and vitrag dasha or vitrag existence, vitrag state is again a result of self-realization. So both leads to self-realization, both are a byproduct of self-realization. So you don't know the difference between these two, right? And all other details regarding divisions and subdivisions is all worthless if you are not able to discriminate between the self and the non-self and the path leading to full detachment as described in the spiritual scriptures. Okay. So you see how this is an acquired delusion, because he has read the Jain scriptures and still he is not able to discriminate between the self and non-self. The purpose of reading the Jain scriptures was you identify yourself that you are the self and everything else is non-self. But if you are not able to understand that, then all the theories is worthless. Okay. So this was the first point. So in the first point, they are making very clear that the purpose of reading Jain scriptures is to be able to discriminate between the self and the non-self. Okay. And when you are able to discriminate between the self and non-self, it leads to detachment. Okay. Because when you know the correct discriminative knowledge, then you engross yourself in the self and don't indulge in the non-self, because you know your path of happiness, your experience of happiness will come only from the soul, because soul has this attribute of happiness. But these attributes of happiness, our happiness, is not available in any of the sensual pleasures, matter substance, or any other substance. Okay. So we need to discriminate between the self and the non-self. Okay. So this is very important. Hope you have understand. If you have any questions regarding this or doubts regarding this, you can ask right now. Otherwise, we'll move on to the second point.
Sir, this thing. So first to fourth stage, what will it be? Matlab second and third we fall down, as you said.
No,
So
no.
what is the
So second and third stage are only acquired when you fall down from the fourth. And it
right?
is not that every soul is going to fall down. Okay. It is
Yeah,
just it's just a fact that is being mentioned, that soul always moves from first stage to the fourth stage when he realizes himself. Okay. Now, if he is not able to sustain there in the fourth stage, then may he fall down to the third or the second or the first. It could be anything. But second and third stage are the stages which is only attained when you are falling down. So when you are
yeah, that I
ascending, when you are going into
yes.
the higher stages, it is always the jump from the first to the fourth.
What is the first stage then, according
First stage is the stage of delusion, mithyatva.
delusion? Yeah, acha. So second and third also comes into delusion only.
And not exactly delusion. It's if it is in delusion, it would be first stage. Okay. So second,
Okay,
third is a
mm,
mixed stage. Okay. And the
okay,
second stage is again a stage where you fall down. Okay. When you fall down, then it is a stage that you have left the fourth stage, but not reached the first stage. So you are in between. So second and third
okay,
stages are in between
in
first and
between.
fourth, but while
Okay,
falling down. You cannot
okay,
go
yeah,
from first to
mm,
second or first to third. You will
okay,
always go to first to fourth. Okay. You can
yeah.
go directly from first to fifth. You can also directly go
That
into
is monkhood. Ah,
no, not fifth is not monkhood. It could still be a householder, but with
yeah,
woes, with woes. Okay. Householder with
sure.
woes. Fourth stage is
Mm,
also a householder, but without woes. Okay. And
oh,
first to seventh also can be achieved, but it will only lead to monks only.
yeah,
Okay. Monks
yes,
are
sir.
in the sixth and seventh stages. Okay.
Mm, mm,
Now,
yes, sir.
I'll just elaborate on this, that you become a monk. Okay. You have not realized
Right,
yourself. You become a monk.
okay. Ah,
You practice all the 28 uh, attributes that a monk is supposed to obey. Okay. You are
right.
obeying that 28 attributes, but still you
So,
are a wrong believer because you have not manifested right belief. Right. But you can
okay.
always become a monk. Now, this is the stage. Now,
Mm,
if that monk, when he sits for meditation, he could
mm,
realize himself. Okay. He could realize
okay.
himself. And what would be its stage, first to seventh. He can go to first to seventh directly, because
Mm,
seventh stage pertains to monk only. And he is already a
yeah,
monk. Although he has not
yes, yes.
manifested the right belief, he has not attained the fourth stage also, he has not attained the fifth stage also, but he can still attain directly 1 to 7th. That is a possibility. Okay. I don't say that it
Okay.
happens that way only. Usually it
Mm,
happens from 1 to 4th, then 4th to 5th, then 5th to 7th. Okay. But
yeah,
this could be a possibility. Then you can suppose you are a householder and you
yes.
are practicing the 12 woes of an householder, right?
Mm,
Now you are still a wrong believer. But when you again sit for meditation, you can always achieve first to fifth stage directly, fourth not coming in between. So that is
okay.
also a possibility. And first to fourth is always the normal case. Those two are exception case, but when the scriptures explain you from the point of stages of spiritual development, they say everything. Even if a one soul has attained this 1 to 7, they will still say that you can attain 1 to 7. Okay. But who can attain that you have understood, right? So these are the subdivisions of soul from the stages of spiritual development. There is another thing that we just discussed, that there are 14 stages where you will find souls. Not 14 stages, but 14 places. And that is called Marganasthan or soul quests. And here it is written as milestone. So you have correct that.
Yeah.
The soul quests. Okay. So three things.
Marganasthan
Yeah.
Mar-
Marganasthan,
is
Gunasthan,
the path.
Marganasthan, Gunasthan, and the Tras or Sthavar ke Bhed. So these three distinctions are of soul. You can divide the soul with categories of mobile and immobile creatures, the soul quest, 14 souls quest, and the 14 stages of spiritual development. Three parameters, okay? That is how you
Okay.
define a soul. Now, non-soul has also different kinds of manifestations, okay? So that we are not discussing right now, but you have known everything, this. But the main part, how to discriminate between the self and non-self, that you have not learned. So the errors remains, okay? So that is being highlighted here.
So I had a question.
Yes.
So this is with regards to what you just explained right now.
Hmm.
So is it, would it be correct to say
Hmm.
that we, these stages of spiritual development are not permanent even in a single day? Like for instance, there could be a stage when I do something wrong and I could say that, oh god, this was like totally, you know, rock bottom level one. But then I sit for say samayik, I do meditation, and it takes me to say level 4. Would that be correct, so that these are not
Yes.
permanent?
Yeah, it is not permanent because the modifications are not permanent. It keeps on changing. But as I said, uh, it will not be that much of volatility over there, you know. You are always steady. Now you are into the fourth. So the fourth stage has come after your studies of the scriptures, understanding it, practicing discriminative knowledge time and again, and then you have achieved fourth. So how could it go away? Although the scriptures mentions that you can fall from fourth, but those are just to make you just to intimate you, that don't get overconfident, you know. So those are the words for that. Usually it doesn't happen. Why I not happen? You just understand that you don't get immediately to fourth, you know. After so much of studies, many thinking, and then you arrive at a decision. So when you make a decision, you don't change your decision in your life day to day, right? Once you have made a decision that this is the career that I'm going to pursue, then it's for a longer period, right? And then you get a degree like law degree, MBA, CA, whatever, right? So that degree that don't change often, right? That is only once. So it is all very steady, but the scriptures maintain all the exceptions also. But those are exceptions. Usually it is very steady, you know. Fourth stage, you don't achieve it overnight. It's a very, you have to put in hard work for that. And once you achieve it, it's not going to go away. Because the moment you achieve fourth, you are not satisfied. Because your aim is to get liberated. So we don't get satisfied with fourth stage, right? Because I am the soul. Now this I don't realize, then also I am a soul, right? So even if I realize it is not going to change my attitude anyway, because my attitude is to get liberated. I don't want this mundane existence at all. I want permanent happiness, you know. I don't want happiness which is dependent on so many factors. You know, I get a disease in my body, I feel sad. I have some problem in my family, I feel sad. So we don't want that kind of things. We want permanent thing, right? So this eternal bliss is very permanent in nature. It starts with fourth, right? But as you go along the spiritual stages, it keeps on increasing. Your happiness level keeps on increasing. Your passion levels keeps on decreasing. And there comes a time that you manifest 100% purity and you eliminate all the impurities. And that is the stage of 12th stage, Vitrata. And then you never fall back. Once you achieve the stage of 12th stage, you never fall back. Even if you are up to 11th stage, you can still fall back. But 12th is the stage where people get liberated. They don't fall back.
So, but that monk fell back, no?
Which one? Monk is 6th, 7th stage, no? Monk,
So we are done.
monk.
Yeah, that's true.
So 6th, 7th. Monk stage starts from 6th and 7th. 6th, 7th upwards, or everyone is monk. Okay. So if you are a monk, it is 6th, 7th stage. The monk stage starts from 6th, 7th stage uh, practically, right? So then 8th stage. So now in this era, 5th era of this Bharat Kshetra, you don't go beyond 7th. You are not able to manifest 8th stage also right now. Okay. 8th stage also you cannot manifest, because 8th stage is the stage where you climb that ladder, where the upwards is very easy, you know. So you don't get to that stage right now. You can go up to 7th as a monk. And if you are a female, you can go up to 5th stage, Arjika. Okay, you cannot go beyond 5th in the female form. Okay, any other questions? Now, I'll just give you an example, Himali, your question, that you go to a restaurant, right? You go to a non-restaurant?
No, sir.
No. So this is not come to you overnight. It is over your years experience that if you see that veg and non-veg together, you won't go, right? Come what may. Even for your professional or in your business, wherever it demands, you will go, but you will not even have water from there. So that is the kind of belief that we have developed over a period of years. So how it can go overnight? My question is. So similarly, once you manifest 4th stage, you are going to be there steadily. These are some of the things that are always written in the scriptures, because even monks also fall. Okay. From 6th, 7th stage also you fall. Up to 11th stage also you can fall. So at any point of time, don't get satisfied or complacent. Our aim is to get liberated, and we are not going to rest before we get liberated. That is the attitude we have developed. Okay. So that is the whole thing. Now coming on to the second point, even when he knows them, okay, his knowledge is based on the religious text. When he knows them means?
Self and non-self.
No, yeah, self and non-self. Sorry, good. It is he knows them means the discrimination between the self and non-self. Okay, even when he knows them, his knowledge is based on the religious text. So this is only theoretical knowledge, but does not have full faith in knowing one's own self. Now, what is the difference between knowing and having faith? Can anyone explain? You know Himali? Yeah, I know Himali.
Sir,
But you know Himali as a character. I don't know, because we have interaction on class only, right? So when you go close to Himali and see his habits, see his company now, but nowadays you have this what you call Facebook and all, and people get to know everything from there. But if you are not on Facebook, then how you will know? So you have to get acquaintance with him. You have a meeting with him, then you know that this is a genuine person or not, right? So similarly,
Trust.
knowing and having faith. Yeah, Arunji.
I was saying, like having full faith means having trust.
Yes, trust, belief. Your belief has to change. Now, I'll give you one example, very simple example. You go to a vegetable market, okay? There are 100 shops in that vegetable market, okay? You go to a particular shop, you buy vegetable and come back home. And when you just see, when you are preparing the vegetable, you see that all these are rotten and all. So not all, but few of them are rotten. The quality is not good. Okay. So next time when you go to that market, you will go to that shop. You will not
No.
go immediately, but after say 1 or month, 2 month, you again come across there and you again feel, oh, this is looking good. Let's try once again. Maybe that last time was my bad luck. Okay. So you try
Mm.
again. And the same thing happens the second time. Then what your now your belief has increased. So इसके पास जाना ही नहीं, right?
Blacklisted.
Yeah, blacklisted. Not still blacklisted. I'll just give you the example more. Now, again, 2, 3 months later on, again you go there and you again see and you again fall back because we have this tendency. And you know, these tendencies are hard to go. Old habits die hard, they say, right? So, again, you buy from that. And this time also you have the same experience. Now, and the first time, the belief, you can just uh, make out what is the changes in the belief. The first time it was just a fluke. The second time your conviction was more that we should not go to that shop. But third time, now you are 100% that you will not go to there anytime in future. Even if the thought comes, let's try again, then it will stop you that no, we have tried it 3 times. Now enough is enough. So this is how the faith develops. So now, even when he knows them means soul and non-soul and the discrimination part. His knowledge is based on the religious texts. Religious texts that the soul is different from non-soul, non-soul is different from soul, okay? But does not have full faith, okay? So once you think knows, then the faith develops. So it is not that develops overnight, but there are workings on that. There is analysis before that. And then you arrive at a decision and have faith, true faith. Okay. But does not have full faith in knowing one's own self and not to mix that with others and to keep oneself unmixed with others. So, he knows them theoretically, but practically he does not have the clear-cut discrimination between the self and the non-self. Sometimes he mix some portion of non-self into the self, and sometimes he mix some portion of self into the non-self. Okay, some portion. Okay, so in Hindi it is written. You will understand better. यदि प्रसंगवश उन्हें जान भी लेता है तो शास्त्र अनुसार जान लेता है, परंतु अपने को आप रूप जानकर पर का अंश अपने में न मिलाना और अपना अंश पर में न मिलाना, ऐसा सच्चा श्रद्धान नहीं करता. So he does not develop that right belief. Okay. Third point, like other people having perverted faith, this one also treats religious teaching, fast, and other activities. Okay. Religious teaching means updesh, giving lectures. Okay. That means religious teaching. So lecture is a function of what? Soul or non-soul? Try, Himali, try.
So non-soul.
Non-soul. Because this voice is again a matter substance, right? Body is again a matter substance. So the whole process of doing lecture is a function of the non-soul substance. Okay. So, so that is first. Like other people having perverted faith. Perverted faith means false faith. Okay. This one also treats religious teaching. Okay. First thing. Fast. Upvas. Upvas is a function of soul or non-soul?
Non-soul.
Non-soul. Why? Give me the logic.
So it's one of the so it is for the body, it is not for the
So
soul.
fasting means what? Fasting means
Of the body.
you are not eating, right?
Mm.
So the food is non-soul, the body is non-soul. Now you have not put the non-soul substance into non-soul substance. How it can be function of soul, right? So there again he makes a mistake. So religious teaching, fast and other activities of the body, depending on upon the body as one's own. So these are the activities of the body, but he considers as his own. So there comes the mistake between soul and non-soul. Okay, understood? Third point, Madhuji, समझ में आया?
जी जी
So,
Okay. Yeah.
so we say that fasting is not associated. I think we had earlier also learned it is not associated to getting punya or anything of that sort. Now, so there is a lady called Darshana Ben. Now she has been fasting since she was 40, and today she's 75, and she's
हाँ
fasting for our Shikharji.
Mm.
The Wednesday is the final hearing of the court, and I interviewed her, so I'm going to write about her today.
Oh, very good.
So, sir, she has been doing three upvas, then ekashna, three upvas, one ekashna since
Mm.
35 years.
Mm. Mm.
And so she told me that I had to undergo a surgery of my intestine because they found something in her MRI. She was not well.
Mm.
And then she said that so I said, I will not break my fast. You do whatever you want, but I will not break this whole chain that I have started since so many years.
Mm.
So she says that when I went to the hospital,
Mm.
they put a panel of seven doctors came on my second day of fast,
Mm.
and they put the scope inside my intestine,
Mm.
and the whole scope passed. That
Mm.
blockage had suddenly gone away.
Mm.
They removed it again, they put it,
Mm.
so her family doctor was also there because
Mm.
her health has now become very bad. The day
Mm.
she does her parna of,
Mm.
and she eats that ekashna day,
Mm.
just before she eats, her sugar is 34, and then after she eats 2 hours later it's 400. So
Mm.
that is the fluctuation going on in her body. So
Mm.
she said that the in the surgery they passed the scope thrice and there was no problem, and then the doctors came out and said कि हम गए थे उसके पहले कोई और आके उनको ठीक करके चला गया, उनको सर्जरी की जरूरत ही नहीं है. So sir, she feels that this is some divine intervention. Sir, you think
Mm.
this is true?
No, no, no. This is not true. First of all, that
जब
Darshana Ben does not know that she is a soul, right? Now, if you want to do something, why want to publicize it? And who is getting the publicity? So she is not Darshana Ben. She is the soul. And when you soul, you do for your own purpose, for your own happiness. Why you want to make it so much of publicity and why you would like to go to a hospital even, right? I have to die, I will die. Why should I go to a hospital? Right? So there are so many errors, in understanding now that his whole life she has spent after religion and he doesn't understand the religion. How to manifest religion that she doesn't understand. He considered fasting as a religion, but that is not a religion. That is a discipline. The purpose of fasting is that today you don't have to eat, so you will be able to concentrate on yourself more, right? That was the purpose of fasting. And he thought that fasting itself is religion. Bhagwan Mahavir Swami also did fasting, but he was engrossed in the self. He was getting happiness from inside, right? And people don't know the internal development. So they just observe it from the outside. So Mahavir Bhagwan has done fast, so I will also do fast. And there is also a rat race that how much you can do. And there is Guinness Book of Record and these and that, and it are all gone into the wrong direction. Now, we are not supposed to comment on anybody, but since you have taken up this topic, you just go and ask that have you realized yourself? And if you have realized of self, then how does it matter why you should go to a hospital? Because body is not yours, right? Body is not yours, so how you would like to do that in going into a hospital where there are all allopathic medicines, and those medicines have non-veg things in them. These are in technical names, but if you go and search into the Google, EN something something, they will write, and you will see that is pig's liver and fish liver and everything like that. So if you are even a fourth stage or even if a fifth stage, you don't consume medicines, because the moment you consume allopathic medicines, your whole religion is gone, your whole woes are gone, right? So this is the category of people who don't study the text, okay? You tell him that, have you read Samaisar? You tell him that, have you read Tatvat Sutra? Even Tatvat Sutra includes fasting under influx chapter. Tatvat Sutra is all about 7 fundamentals, okay? So we will also be studying Tatvat Sutra, the whole scripture, apart from few chapters, we will be reading the whole. So in Tatvat Sutra, they have included fasting, penance, everything in the 7th chapter, which is of influx. The one who is binding the karma, how can that be the cause of liberation? So false belief. You will be studying about this here in only. Okay. So I'll get back to you on this. I'll just introduce Himali. Himali is working for Times of India, and she writes article for Times of India, and very good articles. Recently, I read one article on diamond. Yeah, that was a very critical study and very practical study. And I can see that you have done so much of research. She, along with one of our colleague, right? You both have written that article. So this article will come, you all read and see that how she does analysis and why she's so much attentive in class, and he grabs and so many questions, ask many questions. So that is the way you should study, We are now all logical people. We can put logic everywhere and understand it correctly. So if our belief is correct, everything will be correct. Now you ask Darshanaji these 7 fundamentals, that what are the errors in 7 fundamentals. First question you should ask, you would have told me earlier, I would given you questions, that would have enlightened her, that what she should do. Because at the end of the day, we are sharing what? We want to share this because we want everyone to be happy. We want everyone not to go in the wrong direction, right? So you just have to ask how we can realize ourselves, right? So the basic basic thing that you should know is the 7 fundamentals, right? Now the next question is, what is 7 fundamentals? What are the errors in 7 fundamentals, and how the understanding of 7 fundamentals leads to self-realization? This is the question. With these 3 questions, anyone can get liberated. So this is the way, it goes on. Yet this whole world will go like this only. We have to get ourselves into the right track and get liberated. This world will still go on. It's not that. Yeah, Arunji.
Sir, okay.
Ha, Arunji.
Sir, so I wanted to check, like, for the incident which we were just discussing, wherein like she was cured by herself, correct? So can it be her karmas that she got cured? Because she did get cured.
Karma, Sata Vednya and Asata Vednya. In the first place, like, there is a very good theory in medical science, and that person has got Nobel Prize, that when you don't eat anything, the body has themselves a healing power, right? The body heals itself. But when we eat, no, the body has to spend energy to digest that. Now she is not eating, so because of that, her energy is saved. So her energy, that energy will work on those part which is not okay, which has some
Right.
flaws in that. So it will repair itself. Not a single medicine will help you in any of the disease. It is your own healing power that is curing the body. I have been practicing naturopathy since last 16 years. I have not taken a single
God.
medicine, nor my wife, nor my child. Never we have medicines. We understand every disease. Even if I get cancer today, I will not go to a hospital. Because it doesn't work that way. Naturopathy offers you comprehensive solution, permanent solution. You don't require any medicines for that. And we have specialist doctors for that. And you know why this is not popular, I'll tell you. Because they don't give you any medicines. They just changes your diet. Right? So,
Right.
so by just changing your diet, how much I can charge you fees, Arunji? You tell me. I can charge 500, 1000, 2000, 5000. But here, if I do operation of your intestine or cancer, I will charge 5 lakhs.
Right.
If you want to become a doctor, MBBS, you have to pay 50 lakhs capitation fee to get admission in a medical college. And by the time you become a doctor, you have already spent 2 crores. So what you will do? You will earn that money, no?
Right.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
diagnostic company, the pharma company, and the WHO all are having a tie-up, you know. So they invent new diseases, and those are not the diseases. That is their invention. They intimidate you, and once you are fearful, no, you are ready to do anything. Forget you. Your family members are the most worried. People sell their jewelries and get operated, you know, and that operation does not require. But these things will go on because we are into the 5th era and these things are going to increase. So have the right knowledge, you will not fall into trap. Your auspicious karma will save you to fall into any of the traps.
So,
And
sir, does karma travel from birth to rebirth, or
yes,
karma,
yes,
it
it
just.
travels. Karma is always there. Even if you are leaving this body and going to into another body, it's just a three samay, right? Three samay is a
Mhm.
very minuscule time. Still, the karma body is always there with you.
Okay.
So
And
karma
karma
carries
is
for
non-soul. Karma is non-soul, but it
karma is
is.
non-soul, but this soul, because of his wrong ignorance and wrong belief, is binding karmas. And those
Okay.
karmas are coming from the karma particles are there everywhere in the atmosphere, you know. The moment you manifest here your passion or something, that karma attracts you and it comes there and it is just placed near the soul.
Sir,
एक
but when you say
second.
the karma attracts you, but then what we have been hearing is कि जो होना है वो तो होके रहेगा, right? It is all predefined.
Right.
Does it mean it is not predefined? Karma particles are there and it is your vibration which
No, no,
attracts a specific karma.
everything is predefined, but you have to believe that, no?
Mhm.
How do you believe that it is all predefined? It is correct
Sir,
that
but then if I believe everything is predefined, then I'll stop doing.
so once you believe that it is predefined, that means your active consciousness, upyog, will go into the soul and you will be an enlightened soul.
Okay.
You may say that I believe everything is predefined, but moment
But then
the
I'll stop
problem will
doing the
come,
things.
the moment the problem will come into your life, you will run here to there. But if
Right.
you have this conviction that everything is predefined, you will be relaxed. You will not find a problem a problem. So this is something that will take 2 years of you, 2 to 3 years for you to understand everything, all the principles. Gradually, the syllabus is so comprehensive that at the end of 3 years, you will be absolutely in a high level of happiness. Nobody can
Sir, but then
disturb that happiness.
another thought is if everything is predefined, then suppose then it is bound to happen. Like for a thief, how does he improve his karmas? If it is bound to happen that he'll keep on stealing.
So we have theory for each and every problem, you know. So even for karmas, we have this theory that although we have bound karmas and karmas are there with us all the time, and it is because of the karma that we are inside the body. Because of
Right.
Ayu karma, we are inside this body. Okay. So, so this is karma that we have to get rid of. And how we can get rid of karma is when you realize yourself and when you concentrate on yourself, when you focus on yourself, the karma automatically gets detached. You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
चार घाती कर्म नाश किए ऐसे अरिहंत है. So Aryant Bhagwan didn't destroy the karma. Aryant Bhagwan did is what? He engaged his active consciousness into his self, into his soul, and the karma automatically got detached. So this is the power of dissociation of bondage. Nirjara. Okay.
जो
So
होना
Yes,
है
sir.
Sir,
हाँ
सर, जो होना है वो तो होना है, पर
हाँ
पुरुषार्थ से उसका आवेग तो कम कर सकते हैं.
तो जो होना है वो होगा. तो उसमें पुरुषार्थ भी तो लिखा है. तो why you are avoiding पुरुषार्थ? पुरुषार्थ is also a part of destiny. So those who are going to get liberated, the omniscient has also seen his efforts before that. It is not that omniscient has only seen that you will get liberated. He has also seen your efforts. So there is also a misconception regarding what is the right effort, and that we will be studying in coming semesters. But just hold on. Good that you have all got this kind of queries, and I'm very happy that you are the chosen one who are ready to understand so deeply, and you will get your answers. But just wait, we have to go through this syllabus, and you will come to know everything
Come to this.
by the end of 2 years or max 3 years. Everything.
Sir, I
Yeah.
want to understand one thing. Like Ashmi Choturdasi,
Right.
we don't eat after sunset. That is also a type of fasting, right?
Right.
हाँ,
Intermittent
so
fasting.
yes. So then we are again doing the fasting only.
Yeah. So fastings are
Then
many types. Right.
yeah, that I understand, sir. लेकिन as you said, fasting say your karma does not get dissolved like that.
I don't say. I say कि only fasting से
Yes.
नहीं होगा dissolve. You have to
हाँ,
focus on the self. So what we have developed a habit is we are always relating to religion to body activities. Now fasting is a body activity, and you believe that body activity से धर्म होता है. So it is your false belief, right? धर्म तो सोल से ही होगा ना. Soul has
that is
this
true.
quality of developing religion. Okay. So
Yes.
religion is an attribute of the soul. It is not an attribute of the body. So how can we observe religion by following bodily rituals, fasting, anshan, avmordarya, eating one time
Uh,
a day. Then we have other types of penances, tap.
then, then what is the use of those of doing this intermittent fasting?
That is, as I said, no, कि today if you are doing a fasting, then you are not worried, no, कि खाना खाना है, खाना खाना है. So you have all the time in the world to
Engrossed in
pursue,
yourself.
pursue your, yeah.
Oh,
So this
okay.
is, it's a discipline. Like you go to a school, so you have to wear a school
Hmm.
dress, right? But
Right,
school dress
right,
is
right.
not the study. So fasting
Hmm.
are all disciplines, and that you should observe.
Ach-
But
mhm.
before that, you have to study also, no?
Right,
So you
right,
have
right,
to understand, right?
So
So
right,
religion can
right, sir.
only be developed by correct understanding, and correct understanding will only come after you remove these errors. So we are just now removing errors between self and non-self. Okay. So these activities
Hmm.
of preaching, fasting are activities of the body, and this soul consider as one's own. That is the third point. Okay. Fourth point.
so sorry, I just have one question regarding to fasting. And sir, don't they say that जो एक बार खाता है वो योगी, जो
Hmm.
2 बार खाता है वो भोगी, और
Hmm.
जो बार बार खाता है वो रोगी.
Hmm.
So sir, essentially if you keep eating,
Hmm.
you know that, and like you said, that your body will attract diseases, which means you will not have enough time to help yourself to liberate the soul. Like for instance, if I was sick and I would have died at, say, when I was 22 or something,
Hmm.
but this knowledge I'm getting at the age of 42 now that I am. So is that also related to the fact that I will have enough time to liberate myself or
How you
allow
sir?
my karmas to, and also yoga, for instance. So, like sitting for long hours, unless your body can do that, you train yourself, you can't do long hours of meditation. Is that all related?
No. It is like that. I'll tell you one thing, that you have to, what is in our hand in terms of path of liberation. Okay. In your hand, you just study the scriptures, analyzes, okay, analyzes and arrive at a decision. Now, today we are studying this soul and non-soul. So you analyze it, right? And you come to a decision that I am the soul and everything else is non-soul for me. Now, this is a statement, but if you go deep into this statement in terms of practicality, then you will realize that if you are a soul, so you should behave like a soul. And what is the function of the soul? He is only a knower and seer. So you remain knower and seer. Why you are manifesting attachment and aversions? ये चाहिए, ये नहीं चाहिए. This is good and this is bad. There is nothing good or bad in this universe. We will understand everything in this chapter. Just hold on. I'm very, I must appreciate all your queries, right? Those are very good questions, but the answer you will find in this chapter only. Let's finish this chapter and I will take more questions from you. And I'll give you one authority. You are at liberty to ask n number of questions anytime, right? After the class also. It is not that only in class you have to ask question. Whenever any question comes out, you might just shoot a WhatsApp. All right. So I'll be most happy to answer that. But we have time limitations here in class, you know. If I discuss this for long, then I'll be not able to complete the syllabus. And this syllabus is slightly engaging, very engaging. And I've been given 40 hours a semester. So, but I'm open for discussion after the class anytime. Okay. So that I don't stop anytime. Okay. Now the fourth point. He discusses the element of soul as described in the religious book. Okay. He discusses the element of soul. So again, we are coming back to the theory knowledge as described in the religious books, but does not realize that the soul is himself. Just see, soul is this, soul is that. So he's just talking like third person, you know. He's not talking in the first person that I am the soul, I am the knower, I am the observer, right? He discusses the element of soul as described in the religious book, but does not realize that the soul is himself and the body and other outside objects are totally different. Again, we are practicing discriminative knowledge here, right? He experiences that body and soul are different entities as if he is talking of some third persons. Okay. He experiences that body and soul are different entities as if he is talking of some third person, right? So this is the difference. He is getting all the knowledge about the soul, but he is not considering himself the soul. And the whole purpose of getting the knowledge was to realize this, that you are the soul. So this is missing, right? So these are the errors that people have been making since time immortal. And also those people who comes in contact with these scriptures and this knowledge, and still they are not able to manifest self-realization because these errors remains. These are subtle errors. Fifth one, he treats the joint activities of the soul and the body as one. So there are two entities, right? Two substances. One is soul substance and the other is matter substance, right? Two substance. So soul is soul substance and body is matter substance, right? So he treats the joint activities of the soul and the body. Now I am raising a hand, right? So this is an activity of soul or body?
Body.
Body.
Body. Himali,
Body, yes.
Arun,
Sir, body.
no. You go near a dead body and tell him to raise the hand. Soul has gone. So body cannot have independent functioning like that, you know. It's not a robot that you have programmed. It is so far a robot as far as the soul is inside the body. Soul goes away, zero, right? So this activity of my raising hand is just possible because the soul is there. So it is a joint activity between soul and body. What you can see is body activity, but what is connected to that is the soul. And my desire to raise the body is a function of the soul. It is not the function of the body. So desires are happening on the soul, and because of this desire, we are experiencing misery and pain. Desire is the only cause of our misery. There is no other cause. And this desire rises just because of delusion. So delusion is the chief cause. right? So we'll come back to that discussion again. Now see,
Aparigrah.
not parigrah, body, desire, इच्छा 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 की बात कर रहे थे हम.
हाँ तो इच्छा मैंने चीजों से अपरिग्रह करेंगे तभी तो डिजायर कम होगा
so
सर.
parigrah is a fallout of इच्छा, right?
अच्छा.
Once you have a desire, then only you have parigrah, na? So we are discussing the chief cause as desire. He treats the joint activities of the soul and the body as one and does not follow that matter is just an indifferent cause of the activity of the soul. So there is a nimitic sambandh, cause and effect relationship. Okay. So soul is the instrumental cause in the activity of the body, and in the activity of the body, soul is the instrumental cause. As I said, I cannot raise hand if the soul is not there, right? So soul is an instrumental cause in my raising the hand, right? And when the body also moves on its own, then soul is an instrumental activity. And in soul's instrumental activity, when I desire to move from one place to another place, the body acts as an instrumental cause. Because when the body moves from one place to another place, the soul is also moving, no? Because soul is inside the body now, right? So both are interdependent. Soul and body together interdependent, but even that soul is a different substance and body is a different substance. No correlation, but there exists a cause and effect relationship between the two. Okay, one is an instrumental cause to the other. So you just see, he treats the joint activities of the soul and the body as one and does not follow that matter is just an indifferent cause. Indifferent cause means instrumental cause, auxiliary cause, nimit of the activity of the soul, and the soul in its turn is again an indifferent cause, nimit of the activity of that matter. दोनों एक दूसरे के निमित्त है. He does not realize the inherent difference between the two activities. Okay, these are the 5 points for removing the errors between soul and non-soul. Now, third one, errors regarding influx element. Okay. Himali, you only read.
Errors regarding influx element. Number 1, he regards violence and other sinful influxes as undesirable, but treats non-violence and other merit influxes as desirable. Both of them, however, are undesirable, being instrumental to bondage of the soul. Second, the desirable state is that without any bondage, where one only knows and sees and remains perfectly detached. As long as this state is not achieved, one may indulge in merits, but he should have faith that this only leads to bondage. If such a state is treated as path to liberation, that is totally wrong. Third, he does not recognize the internal nature of wrong faith and other influxes and considers that their outward form is real influx. For example, he treats adopted wrong faith only as false belief, but does not understand the eternal inherited wrong faith as such. He regards outer violence and indulgence in mind as senses, as non abstinence, but does not realize that recklessness is the root cause of violence and desire is the root cause of indulgence in subjects of senses and mind. He considers passions to be outward, anger, etc., but does not realize that attachments and aversions that remain in intention are the real enemies. Next, he regards outward movement of body, speech, and mind as such, but has no idea of the intrinsic power of such activities. Fourth, attachments and aversions that cause wrong faith are in fact real influxes. Since he does not recognize them as such, he commits errors in influxes.
So we will see first errors regarding influx. Okay.
Sir, what does influx mean actually? Like,
Asrav. The cause of karma is coming towards soul. Right? So influx we have studied in detail in semester 1. Okay, I remember at least 2-3 hours we have put in for 7 fundamentals, because I knew this is such
Yes,
an
sir.
important chapter. So you should again go back and study that again, right? So you will have a very good understanding of this. But here we will be just studying the errors. So influx element in short is there are two kinds of influx. Okay, one is psychic influx, which is related to the soul, and the other is material influx, which is related to the non-soul element. Okay, so these are two influx. Now this psychic influx is the manifestation of delusion, attachments and aversions, and material influx is the karmas that are coming just because of the uh, manifestation of attachments and aversions. The karma comes in, and that is called the material influx. Okay, now what is the errors? He regards violence. Okay, violence is again a psychic influx. He regards violence and other sinful influxes as undesirable. Okay, but treats non-violence, ahimsa, and other merit, punya, influxes as desirable. Now both are undesirable, but he makes a distinction. He considers non-violence and other merit influxes as desirable and sinful influxes as undesirable. But again, Shubhav B is a cause of bondage of karma. So one which is a bondage of karma, how can be it beneficial for the liberation of the soul? So both of them, however, are undesirable, being instrumental to bondage of the soul. Okay. So this is the first point. I think it's very clear. The
Sir,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. So you remember when we actually did that chapter, and I think there was a lady called Shivangi ji. That time when you were explaining the boat example, she was saying, I have come up with another example, and she was talking about a mosquito or something in her room, and then she was saying, I keep the windows open, then the mosquito. So, sir, which means that not killing the mosquito, which is non-violence, and
Right.
saying that this is merit influx is also not right, right?
Right. Merit influx is again a cause of bondage. Right. So killing is again a inauspicious influx, and saving is a material influx. There is no religion in between. Really, real religion is not manifesting attachment or aversions. That is passionlessness state, detachment. Okay. So both of them, however, are undesirable, being instrumental to bondage of the soul. The second point, the desirable state is that without any bondage, where one only knows and sees. So you coming to your function. What is your function? To know and see. So the desirable state is that without any bondage. So when you know and see, you don't bind any karmas. Okay. But when you become a doer, you bind karmas. Okay. Where one only knows and sees and remains perfectly detached. So this is our function, right? But we don't remain so, and that's because the karma binds us. Okay. As long as this state is not achieved, which state? The state of passionlessness. Okay. This state is not achieved, right? One may indulge in merits or auspicious sentiments. Okay. One may indulge in merits, because if you indulge, if you don't indulge, if you don't get to the pure state, okay, there are 3 stages only: pure state, auspicious state, inauspicious state. Now, when you don't get into the pure state, then you have only 2 left, right? And if you don't get involved in auspicious state, then you are left with inauspicious. And when you get into inauspicious state, you bind karmas which will take you to hell. Narak mein le jayega. Okay. So that is not desirable. So you have to be here in this stage. And from here you can go here. But nobody can go directly from the inauspicious state to the pure state. In between, auspicious stage will come, right? So upvas is the auspicious stage. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, 11 days, 12 days, 13 days, 14 days, 15 days, 16 days, 17 days, 18 days, 19 days, 20 days, 21 days, 22 days, 23 days, 24 days, 25 days, 26 days, 27 days, 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, 31 days, 32 days, 33 days, 34 days, 35 days, 36 days, 37 days, 38 days, 39 days, 40 days, 41 days, 42 days, 43 days, 44 days, 45 days, 46 days, 47 days, 48 days, 49 days, 50 days, 51 days, 52 days, 53 days, 54 days, 55 days, 56 days, 57 days, 58 days, 59 days, 60 days, 61 days, 62 da and upvas is being done to get into this pure state, right? So that is the what is being said here. As long as this state is not achieved, which state? State of detachment. One may indulge in merits, but he should have faith that these also leads to bondage. Okay, this auspicious state also leads to bondage. Okay, so it is not a cause of liberation. Cause of liberation is the pure state where you don't bind any new karmas and the old karma gets dissociated. So that is the pure state. So our objective is to manifest pure state. Okay, but if we are not able to manifest pure state, at least we should be in the merit state. So you are studying now. So this is merit state. This is not demerit state and this is not pure state. This is merit state. And why we are into this? Because we will understand the nature of soul and then we realize the soul. So when we realize the soul, we get into the pure state. But we should have felt that this also leads to bondage. If such a state is treated as path to liberation, then faith is totally wrong. So this is error regarding influx. Okay, there are demerits influx and merit influx. So demerit influx is not advisable or desirable. So you are left with pure and merit. So if you are not manifesting pure, you should be in merit, right? And if you are able to manifest pure, then merit is also not desirable. Okay, so merit has double role. So when you are getting down and you are indulging in sensual pleasures, then come to the merit stage, right? But when you are targeting for pure state, then merit is also not desirable. Okay, so this is the understanding. If you are not able to understand it this way, and if you consider auspicious or merit stage as religion, then it is your false belief. Okay, that is the error regarding influx element. Okay.
Delusion.
Yes. No, this is errors regarding influx element, that you are considering the merit state as religion. The one which is binding you karma, you are considering it to be a cause of liberation. So this is errors regarding influx element. So influx, whether it is merit or in merit, both are binding karmas. So how you can say merit is good and demerit is bad? When you are talking of path of liberation, both are binding karmas. So both are at the same category. But when you are falling into the inauspicious state, then Acharya will say that stay in the auspicious state, because here you will be learning about the nature of the soul. Here you will be learning to practice, how to practice discriminative knowledge. Here you will be learning how to manifest detachment. So these are the tools by which you will get liberated. So at least merit stage is desirable than demerit state. That is what they want to convey. But if you consider the merit state as religion, then your quest for purity has stopped. Right? Good. Third point. This is very important. You have to understand it, everything. One minute. Third point. He does not recognize the internal nature of wrong faith and other influxes. Okay. He does not recognize the internal nature of wrong faith and other influxes, and consider that their outward form is real influx. He does not recognize the internal nature of wrong faith. What is this internal nature of wrong faith? The one that's bind karmas, okay, and that is the wrong faith. So delusion is the first part of this wrong faith. Okay, there are 5 causes of bondage. First one is delusion. Second is restraint, avirati, mithyatva, avirati. Third is pramad. Pramad is actually it is procrastination, but here we say it not being careful. Okay, pramad means not being careful. Pramad. Okay. So mithyatva, avirati, pramad, kashay. Kashay is passions. And yog. Yog is bodily activities. So these are the 5 causes of bondage of karma. So first is delusion. Second is restraint. Third is recklessness, pramad. Fourth is passion. And fifth is yoga. Okay. So these are the 5 causes that is being explained in Tattvad Sutra. Okay. And 5 are explained here. But what they have done, they have clubbed pramad and kasha into one. Okay. So recklessness and passion are coming under one. Okay. Now we'll read once each. So he does not recognize the internal nature of wrong faith and other influxes. So wrong faith is delusion, and other influxes will be the restraint, the recklessness, the passion, and the body movements, body activities. And consider that their outward form is real influx. So outward form is what we can see, right? But behind that activity, there is something at the belief level, and that is the internal nature of wrong faith. Okay. When we come to believe, it is always the faith that is we are talking about. Okay. So we should mend the internal belief first, right? So once our internal belief is correct, then gradually all other causes of influx will go away. The first, delusion has to go. Delusion is the number 1 cause of influx. So until and unless delusion goes, so when the delusion goes, all other strength is absolutely reduced. So there are 4 causes given here. Okay. So if delusion goes, then how much percentage of influx has gone?
Only one portion, bro.
How come?
Oh,
I have told
the
you
whole
4
thing.
causes, 4 or 5 causes. So here it is 4 causes. Okay. 4 points, 4 causes. So if delusion is the first one, so if delusion goes, then how much influx, how much percentage of influx has stopped?
Maximum, bro.
How maximum? Tell me.
25%.
Because because delusion is the reason for all our
Good. It is not 25%. Mathematically, it will be 25%. But here it is 90%.
right.
Delusion is the chief cause. Because of delusion, we are binding such karma, intense karma, that it is called Anantanubandhi. Anant Sansar. Okay. So this is delusion is the chief cause. Okay. So if delusion goes, all other bondages are to the extent of only 10%. Okay. Once the delusion goes, the strength, internal strength of all the 3 other causes also goes. It is just only in one of the text in Samaisar, in Bhavarth, one of the commentators, Mr. Jaichandi Thabda, he compares delusion and the other causes. Other causes are only 1 drop in an ocean. So once the delusion goes, only 1 drop in ocean is left. Ocean is so big. What is the value of 1 drop? Okay. So all other causes are very minor. Delusion is the chief cause. So
So
what
ये
is
12th stage रहेगा क्या
pardon?
डॉक्टर सर? डेल्यूजन फिर ये 12th stage रहेगा क्या?
नहीं 4th stage होगा ना.
4th ही रहेगा. बिकॉज
delusion
डेल्यूजन तो अपना निकल गया, मतलब
delusion
डेल्यूजन
गया.
अगर निकल गया, हाँ,
हाँ.
तो क्या बचा? एज यू सेड अ ड्रॉप इन द ओशन.
Yes.
तो फिर ये डोंट वी कवर अप द 12th
No.
stage?
I'll tell you how it is. So
Okay.
I'll explain you the Monia karma first. So Monia has 2 division, Darshan Moh and Charitra Moh. Okay. Darshan Moh is delusion. Charitra Moh is conduct deluding karma. Darshan Moh is faith deluding karma. Charitra moh is conduct deluding karma. So first faith has to go. Faith deluding karma has to go. So once you realize yourself, when you get into the fourth stage, the faith deluding karma has gone. But conduct deluding karma remains. It will go in the 12th stage. Where it will go? 12th
12.
stage. So
The conduct.
once the
The
faith
con
deluding karma goes, you are into the
yeah.
fourth stage. Now the passion remains, right? So passions will go gradually, gradually. Last of the passion will go in the 10th stage, at the end of 10th stage, okay? And 12th stage, the first moment, you are completely wiped off all the passions. That is the stage of passionlessness, vitrakta, okay? So first, wrong faith has to go. Wrong faith goes into the fourth stage. He treats adopted wrong faith. Okay. Adopted means acquired. Okay. Acquired wrong faith only as false belief, but does not understand the eternal, inherited, inborn wrong faith as such. So, while understanding delusion, okay, or wrong faith, he understands adopted wrong faith only as false belief, but does not understand that there is an eternal, inherited wrong faith since time immortal. Okay, so that is the error regarding influx element. Okay, so influx element, there are four components. First one is delusion. So in delusion, he considers adopted wrong faith as false belief and does not understand that eternal wrong faith in eternal inherited wrong faith as such. Okay, so eternal inherited wrong faith is also delusion, false belief. Okay, so that he does not understand. That is the first mistake. Now second, he regards outer violence. Yeah.
So, can you give an example of what is eternal inherited wrong faith? Because we forget everything after we die.
Okay, so eternal wrong faith is the belief of seven fundamentals, right? Why we have not manifested right faith, right belief? Because of seven fundamentals, not understanding the seven fundamentals. So inherited wrong faith is the correct understanding of seven fundamentals. Okay, so that is there since time immortal. So he just believe adopted wrong faith, that we have adopted in this birth, and these all faith are related to that only. These all errors are related to adopted wrong faith. Okay, by learning the scriptures also, you are not able to wipe out delusion. Okay, because of this adopted wrong faith. So he considered adopted only as false belief and does not consider that there is eternal inherited wrong faith, which is again a false belief. Okay, so that he doesn't realize. So that was the one. He regards outer violence, hinsa, and indulgence in mind and senses as non-abstinence. Non-abstinence is what? Avirati. Okay, avirati. So first one was mithyatva, wrong faith. Second is avirati, non-abstinence or non-restraint, right? There is no sanyam in his life. Okay, there is no stoppage, restraint in his life. Okay, but does not realize that recklessness, pramad, is the root cause of violence, and desire is at the root of intelligence in subjects of senses and mind. Okay, so he regards outer violence. Outer violence is the physical violence that we can see, okay, with our eyes. So he regards outer violence and indulgence in mind and senses as non-abstinence, but does not realize that recklessness, unawareness is the root cause of violence, and desire is at the root of intelligence, Desire is at the root of indulgence in subjects of senses and minds. Okay. So हिंसा में प्रमाद परिणति मूल है और विषय सेवन सेंसुअल प्लेजर्स में अभिलाषा मूल है. डिजायर is the root cause in sensual pleasures. Okay. So why you indulge in sensual pleasures? Because there is a desire, right? And why do you indulge in outer violence or activities of mind? Because of
From faith.
no, pramad, recklessness. Pramad to we already discussed. Pramad, wrong faith is always there as the first step. Now we are coming into the second step, second cause of bondage. First cause of bondage was wrong faith. Second cause is this non-abstinence, avirati. You are not able to manifest any kind of renunciation in your life, right? कुछ त्याग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, संयम नहीं ले पा रहे हैं, okay? So that is avirati. So there are 12 divisions of avirati. First 6 is prani sanyam, prani hinsa, 5 indriya और स्थावर, ठीक है, स्थावर और त्रस. So that is 6 kinds of living beings that you are not able to renounce violence of those. Okay, so that is the first part. The second part is 5 senses and mind, right? So these 12 are called avirati, non-restraint. You cannot avoid this. That is avirati. Okay. So he regards outer violence and indulgence in mind and senses as non-abstinence, but does not realize that recklessness is the root cause of violence and desire is at the root of indulgence in subject of senses and mind. So he is just considering avirati from outside. He is not able to understand what is at the base of this non-abstinence, right? So that is the second. Third one, he considers passion to be outward anger, okay, etc. Outward anger, outward pride, outward deceitfulness, outward greed, okay? He considers them such passion, which is what we can see, but does not realize that attachment and aversion that remain in intention, right, are the real enemies. Okay, so we mend the intention, we mend our understanding, we mend our thought, we mend our, not mend our thought, but we mend our faith, right? So when we have the right faith, the intention will also be good, right? So he considers passions to be outward anger, etc., but does not realize that attachment and aversions that remain in intention. Okay, so every moment you observe yourself that at your mind level there is always an attachment aversion going on. ये अच्छा है, ये ठीक है, ये ठीक नहीं रहेगा, ये ठीक है, ये ठीक नहीं रहेगा. So this goes on. So this is the attachment and aversion that remain in intention. That has to be removed. You make a clear-cut decision that no object in this world is good or bad, right? Object is object. How can you term as good and how can you term as a bad? Rain. Rain is good for farmers, but rain is not good for a potter. Potter has to stop his business in the rainy season. A farmer is very happy. He will have a very good crop. So rain itself is not good or bad. It depends on you how you take it, right? So he
सर एवर्जन का मतलब क्या होता है?
द्वेष, द्वेष, राग और द्वेष. Attachment is rag and aversion is द्वेष. So intention is अभिप्राय. अभिप्राय में बसे राग द्वेष को नहीं पहचानता, ठीक है, बाहर का ही गुस्से को देखता है बस. He consider passions to be outward anger. That's all. But वो outward anger के पीछे में जो intention में राग द्वेष है, attachments and aversions, that he does not recognize. Okay, so this is again an error. The last, he regards outward movement of body, speech, and mind as such, but has no idea of the intrinsic power of such activities. Okay. So yog, this is yog. Fourth one is yog. So first one was mithyatva, second one was avirati, third one was kashai, that is passions, and fourth is yog. Yog means mind, speech, and body activity. So he regards outward movement of body, speech, and mind as yog, but has no idea the intrinsic power of such activities. The कंपन को क्या बोलते हैं? शिवरिंग राइट? कंपन को क्या बोलते हैं? शिवरिंग, नो
सर वाइब्रेशंस सर.
हाँ, वाइब्रेशंस, राइट, गुड वर्ड. Vibrations of the soul. So when we have activities of body, speech, and mind, simultaneously there are vibrations happening in the soul, and because of these vibrations you are attracting karmas. Okay, so he just regards outside activities of mind, speech, and body as a cause of bondage, but does not realize the intrinsic power. Okay, the what you said now, Samya?
Sir, vibrations.
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 Yeah, he does not consider the vibrations of the soul as the chief cause of bondage. So this is again errors regarding the influx element through yoga. Body, mind, speech, and body activity. The last of the fourth one of the errors, okay. Attachments and aversions that cause wrong faith are in fact real influxes, right? Attachment and aversions that cause wrong faith are in fact real influxes. Since he does not recognize them as such, he commits errors as regards influxes. Okay. So we are studying here in basically Tattva part 1. But the subject that we get here is the whole of Tattva Sutra. So these are the causes being explained in Tattva Sutra. But this is the problem with that, like while teaching English, we have alphabet. While teaching Hindi, we have Kakhaga. So in Jainism, we don't have anything like that. It is all interconnected. If I'm going to explain you one thing, I have to explain you other 3 things to get the real meaning of the first thing. You know, that's why it's taking so much of time. And even if you think on those lines also, you will not able to do it in a proper manner. But we have tried something, and hopefully by September, that portal will be on active, you know, and there we have written 80 articles on the fundamentals of Jainism. And that 80 articles are very, very simple, and even a 12-year-old and 10-year-old can understand. So once that is open, it's going to help you. So there we have done very deep discussions. Just wait.
Where are these articles, you said? Where are these articles?
That will be uploaded on a portal, okay?
Oh,
And they are also going to attach videos to that gradually, but those videos are doing it. But they have done they're planning to launch as a soft launch in September. So once it is launched, I will share you the link of that website. Of course, that is sponsored by vitragvani.com. So that is our principle. But once that is active, I will let you know. So there you will understand this article in a simple manner. Attachment and aversion. So this 4th point is over. So now you know errors regarding influx element. Now the bondage element, very small, 1 paragraph only, that we'll also understand right now only. We have still 10 minutes left. Okay. Errors regarding bondage element. Okay. He treats sinful manifestation as bad. Okay. Sinful sentiments as bad and leading to demerit bondage. Okay. So he treats sinful manifestation as bad and leading to demerit bondage, but thinks that feelings of merit bondage are desirable. Again, the same mistake. Okay. So he considered the inauspicious or sinful manifestation as bad, but considers the merit bondage or the auspicious bondage as desirable. But both are undesirable because both are cause of bondage. So one which you binds you, how can it be beneficial to the soul? Okay. So you have to believe it that all the auspicious and inauspicious um, sentiments are a cause of bondage. Okay. And the one that is a cause of bondage, that cannot be a cause of liberation. Okay. So that is the error that he is doing under bondage element. He consider auspicious to be good and desirable, and inauspicious to be bad and undesirable. But in real sense, both are undesirable. Distinction of merits and demerits lie only in the non-destructive karmas. So distinctions of merits and demerits lie only in the non-destructive karmas. Okay. So distinctions of merits and demerits are in non-destructive karmas. Destructive karmas have only one way, and that is all demerits. So even when you are doing auspicious activity, right, in terms of obscuring karma, it is still causing you bondage, right? Ghati karma. So we have two kinds of karmas, ghati karma and aghati karma. Obscuring karma, non-obscuring karma. 4 karmas are obscuring and 4 are non-obscuring. So distinctions of merit and demerit lies only in non-obscuring karmas. So when you bind auspicious sentiments, you will get good associations in life. Okay. So we have got this, just now we discussed in the beginning only, that we have access to this kind of knowledge just because we have done some good deeds earlier, right? That's why we are having access to this kind of knowledge. So this distinctions of merits and demerits lie only in the non-destructive karmas. Destructive karmas are all demerits. And even when one indulges in merits, destructive karmas are attracted and stay with the soul. So as far as destructive karmas are concerned, there is no distinction between merit and demerits. All destructive karmas are demerits only, and it attracts karmas with the soul. As such, how can merit, being instrumental to bondage, be desirable for the soul on its upward march? Okay. So when you want to get ahead in the path of liberation, when you want to uplift of your soul, then how can merit be regarded as desirable? Because it is also a cause of bondage. And when it is a cause of bondage, it is not going to move you ahead in the path of spiritual liberation. So this understanding that instrumental cause is desirable is a false belief, and this is an error regarding bondage element. Okay. So we have covered errors regarding soul and non-soul elements, errors regarding influx element, errors regarding bondage element. Okay. Now rest of the thing we will do in next class. Still there are 5 minutes left. So if you have any questions, you are open to ask. And if you have more questions, I will stay and we will still answer your question. So these are Ghati karmas, and yeah. So we did karma chapter that time, you know everything. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we will move to errors regarding stoppage element is a big one. So I'm not starting it right now, but we will understand it. So long the errors will be there, you will not be able to realize yourself. So it is good, it is better that we remove these errors. And these errors can only be removed by correct understanding. Okay. So the first time that we discussed 7 fundamentals in detail, that also you can revise. Okay. And master this one topic, 7 fundamentals, and you will be liberated. Okay. So this is such an important thing. But when you elaborate, like under non-soul elements, you have 5 substances. Under soul elements, you have 1 substance. So 6 substances are also covered in this. And universe is nothing but uh, a mixture of 6 substances only, right? So this is, everything is covered in these 7 fundamentals. And errors regarding bondage element. So unless and until you don't know the influx and bondage, how can you get rid of them? So you have to know the nature of influx element and bondage element. And then errors regarding stoppage element. So stoppage element can only be known when you know the influx element. So stoppage of influx is stoppage element, and dissociation of bondage is uh, dissociation of bondage element. Okay. And the last one is, when you know all these, you will automatically get liberated. So that is the liberation element. So we will be removing these errors from our belief system. And when our belief system is in align with the nature of things, that is the time you manifest right knowledge, right belief. Okay. So it is all very easy. The syllabus is very less, but you to make you understand the 7 fundamentals, we have to understand many other topics also, and many other principles of Jainism also. Okay. So that is why we are studying this sequentially, and this is a sequence that was made, say, 50 years ago, and that is still continuing. Nobody else has dared to write any other books or make it, simplify it. This is all done by Dr. Barilji, and that is still continuing since 50 years. But when this portal comes up, you will have a choice. Those are selected 80 articles, and that will clear your basic knowledge about Jainism. You will be that much knowledgeable that you can read the scriptures and understand the meanings. So just wait up till September, and I will definitely get the link and float it in the group. And it will be a soft launch. So initially they want to launch it to people who are just serious seekers, and you are all one of them. So definitely I will share with you. Okay, so we'll continue with this 7 fundamentals, very important. Just revise it once more and understand. If you find any concept that is not clear to you, you can ask it anytime personally to me. Okay.
Sir, can I ask one question
Yeah.
in practical life? How
Yeah.
to lessen attachment and aversion? First thing,
How
what
to
is to be done? Less, कम
lesson?
करना
Okay.
है.
Yeah. So
हाँ.
first you have to get rid of delusion. Because of delusion, you are considering some objects as desirable and some as non-desirable. So the one that you feel desirable, you develop a feeling of attachment to that. And the one you consider undesirable, you develop a feeling of aversions to them. So attachment and aversions are the root cause, and delusion is the root cause of attachment and aversion. So first thing you should get rid of is delusion, and that you can get rid of delusion by making a correct understanding of the 7 fundamentals. So if you understand these 7 fundamentals, your delusion will go away. And while you are understanding these fundamentals, your delusion is getting reduced every day. It's a
तो
gradual process.
फैमिली में रह के कैसे कम हुआ?
फैमिली थोड़ी डिस्टर्ब करता है. फैमिली, आपका बॉडी आपको डिस्टर्ब नहीं करता है. यू आर ए सोल. बॉडी इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम योर सोल, एंड ऑल द रिलेशंस रिलेटेड टू दिस बॉडी आर very far from you. Okay. Because of your attachment, you are considering those relatives and ghar wale as yours. But when body is not yours, how the ghar wale can be yours? Okay. So you have to get rid of delusion. And once you get rid of delusion, then you realize that you are the soul element, only an observer. Okay. And you remain an observer, then you are the happiest person. But we become a doer, and that's why the misery sets in. Okay. So our ignorance is responsible for our misery, and nothing external things are responsible for our misery. Not a disease in our body, not our family members, not the karmas, not any association, external association, nothing. So now,
मतलब
हम्म,
ये कर्ता भाव से नहीं करना है जो भी करना है
हाँ
ऐसे
हाँ, कर नहीं सकते ना, अपन कर नहीं सकते. You cannot do. Even you will try that I am a doer of my family, I am maintaining this family, I am earning
नहीं
money, but
नहीं नहीं नहीं
you are
वो
not
नहीं
doing it.
आता है हाँ
नहीं,
वो
वो
मन में
नहीं
नहीं
आता
आता
है.
है
आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जांपल.
हाँ लेकिन
मैंने बच्चे
तो
को
फिर
बड़ा
वो
किया, मैंने बच्चे को पढ़ाया,
नहीं
वी
ये
ऑल
सब भी
से.
नहीं आता है हाँ
नहीं
नहीं वी
आएगा
डोंट
नहीं.
आई डोंट फील
बट बट
हाँ
बट ऐसा चलते रहता है, बातों में चलते रहता है, और बिलीफ में भी चलते रहता है. सो यू हैव टू गेट रीड ऑफ दिस फॉल्स बिलीफ, राइट? तो
नहीं
डिल्यूशन.
ये तो मेरे मन में आता ही नहीं है कि आई हैव डन समथिंग
ओके.
लेकिन फिर भी अटैचमेंट क्यों रहता है
हाँ, तो अटैचमेंट रहता है, मतलब कहीं ना कहीं अभी है कुछ, है ना? तो इट.
कि दे आर आवर फैमिली बस ये है
हाँ,
बट
तो
आई हैव
आवर
डन
आवर
वॉट एवर आई
आवर
हैव डन
आवर
इज
फैमिली आप बोलते हो, यू से आवर फैमिली,
हाँ
राइट? सो
हाँ
who are you first? That you have to identify, no? You are the soul or the body?
सोल
So when you are soul, so how can the family be yours? Body is not your, associations are not your, the family कैसे हो गया आपका?
पहले ये मन से निकालना
Ah, so
हाँ
delusion is the first thing that you get rid of. You understand the nature of soul, you understand the nature of non-soul, you understand the nature of influx, bondage, stoppage of influx, dissociation of bondage, and liberation. बस 7 homework
हम्म,
only, 7 fundamentals. Okay. तो एक बार फिर से you revise this chapter of 7 fundamentals of Vitrag Vigyan part 1. Okay. Part 1, I think part 1 में है. हाँ.
क्यों है
Yes, part one.
पार्ट
Okay. ठीक है.
फिर भी सर जैसे कोई बीमार है घर में
हाँ,
उसके लिए करना भी तो बॉन्डेज हो गया है ना
देखो करने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
हाँ
I'm not asking you to be responsible, but at the back of the mind you should understand that I am not doing it. It is his
राइट
auspicious karma that is
हाँ
binding my body to serve him or her.
ओके
Okay. So
जी
everything is running automatically. Everything is in auto mode. All the 6 substances are in auto mode. We are not doer of any of the substances. We are only
राइट
an observer. So be an observer. Okay.
एंड
Only
डू इट
knower
करेक्ट
and seer. But that's all. And that
Like
is, yeah.
like Madhuji, remember you had said ki there's a cat, and then you had said ki what if it was dying on the road? Then Sir said, what if you have to take a flight and you are getting late? Will you?
या
So the same thing, I think, no?
Yeah.
हाँ
Correct. Correct.
हाँ
Correct.
हाँ या हाँ
So
नहीं यार या
even if you become an enlightened soul, still you will take care of the family,
ओके
right? It is not
हाँ
that.
हाँ
So your
इट्स
improvement
ऑन
or
योर वे
your
इट्स एज इट इज
understanding,
कमिंग
yeah,
हाँ
nothing is coming in your way when you want to understand
हाँ
yourself. Okay. So first thing is rid of delusion by understanding yourself, by understanding the 7 fundamentals, and then the passions will gradually fade away on its own.
राइट
Okay. And we are not the doer of those spiritual stages, ladder of spiritual stages, from 4th to 14th, everything will happen. But we are only an observer of those, not a doer of those. Okay.
ठीक
Okay.
थैंक यू सर
Okay. So our time is more than over. But anyway,
या
it was a very healthy discussion. And seeing your uh, uh, curiosity to understand this, I am very much charged up. Thank you.
इट्स ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ ओके इंस्ट्रूमेंटल कॉस्ट
ओके. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है. One request, everybody puts their video on so I can see you on screen, and that will make me more your face expressions. I can read your face expression and can realize that how much you are understanding or not understanding. So make it a point. Everyone should keep their videos open, and so everyone will be on screen, here. Otherwise, what happens, I can see just those people who are on open up their screen or something like that, like, so then I'm not able to connect other people while in the class. Okay. So next time,